You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. How are you? Happy Wednesday. How's your week going? Awesome, I hope. You still got time. So I have a question for you. I have lots of questions. If you get to know me, I'll ask you questions all day, every day. Here's a question. Have you ever come up with something in your mind that you want to do, and then when somebody asks you, so what do you want to do? You try to articulate it, and you kind of beat around the bush. You don't get specifically to what it is, and they can't really understand what you're trying to do. Has that happened to you? It probably has. It happens to everybody, but don't worry about it. There's a word for it. There's a way to deal with it. We'll talk about that today. It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm sounding more and more like Ryan Seacrest. It's the Daily. Yeah, I just learned something a long time ago. Here's what I learned, okay? I don't care what you want to do, even if you want to sleep in and not be bothered in the morning. Something may happen. I mean, in my case, I might want to sleep in, but then the sun, it creeps in through the drapes right there in the window and wakes me up like, wait, life got in the way. Got to figure that out. Have to have a strategy. Well, life is like that no matter what it is, no matter what you decide to do. Life begins when you move, but then challenges happen. So this show is dedicated to dealing with those challenges every single day to keep you in the game and playing at whatever level you want to play until you get whatever you say you want. It's up to you, and my job is to support that. And gosh darn, I'm going to do that. So we've been doing 15 years now. My name is Scott Smith, founder, chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. Thanks for all the great emails yesterday, by the way. And I did have a question. A young lady asked me, Scott, why do you not have show notes? Podcasts have show notes, right? And I said, well, actually, I do. I just call it my daily nugget. So here's what happens. I believe in storytelling and emotions to get the feeling that drives you forward. I like to create that automatic motivation in you. That's the goal of the podcast. At the end of the podcast, you've got an idea, you have a feeling, you automatically want to drive yourself forward. And I've learned over time that taking that and just turning it into a straight transcription, you lose that and you start collecting information, and you've got enough information. So instead, I write the daily nugget in a story form that captures all the emotions that a transcription just can't. And so you get the power of this podcast in written form at 5 o'clock in the morning. It is awesome. It is by far the most popular feature that we have at motivationtomove.com. 70% open rate on that email. And that's the only way to get it, by the way. Members only. And there's a whole lot more that we give you as part of a membership. So do me a favor. Go join motivationtomove.com. Get the daily nugget. Back to what I was saying just a moment ago about having a big idea, a big mission, and yet not being able to properly articulate that mission or define what you want. And usually it could be just to yourself. You just can't figure it out. But you talk to other people, maybe you're talking to me, and I don't get you. Or folks can't support you. That's like, I don't even know what you're really talking about because you're kind of beating around the bush. Has that ever happened to you? Now, sometimes you haven't thought your idea through clearly, and other times, well, we'll get to that here in a second. But a long time ago, I was a young man, fire in my belly, and I was going to be a disc jockey. I've talked about that before, but part of my DJ training school was some journalistic training as well, because when you're a baby DJ, back in the day, we used to go to small markets, and you had to do the news and everything else as well before you got to be the big-time radio DJ that I wanted to be, right? So I was working on my broadcast career, and I learned some journalism, not a whole lot, but enough to stay out of trouble, I think. At radio stations, what they would do would send this snot-nosed 19-year-old to local town meetings, to political events, things like that, pretty much anything newsworthy. It could have been the Bluegrass Festival. It didn't really matter. They would send me someplace. They needed a story. So my job was to walk around with my fancy reel-to-reel tape recorder and to write a story, to figure out what the story was, and to write a story and then come back and go on the air and deliver it, usually right after the obituaries that I had to do my very first radio job. Fuquay Arena, North Carolina, I kid you not, 9 a.m. in the morning. I would do the obituary, and at 9:15, I'd read the stories that I wrote. I thought I was doing pretty good. I was a young man, very first job in radio. Thought I was doing great. One day, my boss called me. I want to say to his office, but really it was the desk in the corner because it was a small radio station. So he called me over there, and he said, "Hey, let me talk to you for a second." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Didn't get scared of people talking to me at that point in life. Took a few more bad conversations to get that fear. You know what I mean by that, right? He said to me, he wanted to know why I was not getting to the point, the most critical part of the story, faster. He was listening to me. Go figure, the boss listening to my performance on the radio. Why was I not getting to the most critical part of the story faster? He said I was distracting from what was important. I was not. I told him that too. I remember that. I don't know what he said after that, but it wasn't good because I learned a lesson evidently. In my mind, I was doing no such thing. So here's what I was doing. I was telling the story how it sounded best in my mind to me. The problem was nobody was listening long enough to hear what I had to say. So I would go on to do my story and they would tune out before I got there because it was boring. So all these years later, I have learned something, a few things along the way. And I've learned a lot from the I want to get more out of life crowd. You all do the same thing. Now, I'm smiling and winking when I say that, tongue-in-cheek completely, because I've been doing this career here for, 20 years now that I shifted over into the work I do now. I shifted over because I just felt like I wanted kind of more in life. And so I was part of that crowd. I truly was the part of I want more in life kind of crowd. So I had all this stuff going on inside my head. And after doing all the work I've done all over the world, boy, I was in a big crowd. So I'm speaking to a client just the other day. It was kind of a tough call. She's going to hear this podcast today. She knows I'm talking about her. It's okay. We did great. We're making progress, okay? But I realized something. I realized that she was really good at shifting to the unimportant, finding more time, learning more, getting advice, even cleaning the garage, organizing the house, things like that, taking the kids to school, sitting at the games, dealing with moms and dads that are maybe aging, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's important. No, don't get me wrong. It's completely important stuff. But it was so off point. It was as if I would ask her exactly what she wanted to do, and she would take a breath and start to say it, and then boom, suddenly all that other stuff got in the way. Has that ever happened to you? I bet it has. I bet you don't even know it. If you're not getting the attention of people around you when you try to tell them what you want to do, it's probably because you're doing that. You haven't got to the point. So in the middle of her wandering, I stopped her and I said, "Why are you doing that?" Kind of like my boss did to me all those years ago. His name is Jim. I remember that right now. I hadn't thought about it in a long time. Why are you avoiding what is most important to you? Cut to the chase. Say what you want. Go do it. It's kind of how I think about life. I don't want to be rude. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to bury the lead. But her response was this. I thought I was talking about what was important to me. That's what I thought I was doing. But you're right. Now I realize I'm telling myself a story. And we went on, the conversation became about her comforting herself, living in her comfort zone, not knowing for sure how things were going to work out, not knowing for sure what the path might be. So what happens is, while this big grandiose dream is there, as you work your way toward it, you tend to stay back in that comfort zone. You tend to say things that you know are going to sound good to you and probably to the folks around you. You don't want to rock the boat too much, right? She was burying the lead. That's a journalistic term. Burying the lead. That means taking what's important and putting it behind the secondary stuff that's not. And what happens is when you do that, you busy yourself along, you feel like you're making progress, but you're not really communicating clearly to yourself or to anybody else. And it's really a tough way to go. It's not any fun when you do that. And sometimes, like happens on most days when I'm working with my clients, and I have limited clientele. I don't do a whole lot, but I 5 or 6 hours a week I'm on the phone, which is a good amount. I don't like to do more than that because I get into stuff like this. I like to catch people in that and kind of call them out in a really nice way and say, hey, this is what I know you want because you've communicated to me before over time, but why don't you say that? Man, I got to tell you, it really does come with tears more often than you know. And right now there's somebody listening to me, and it may be you, and you know I'm talking to you directly. You know you're fiddling around. You know you got something in your mind, and you're trying to figure out how to say it. You're afraid to say it. You are. Do you ever say something like this? I can't focus. I hear that all the time. Nope. You're just focused on the wrong things. You're focused on something else. Just got to get distracted. Nope, distraction is just focus on something else. Do you ever say, I can't get myself moving? No, you're moving. You're moving in your mind, you're moving in your body, moving your soul. You're just moving in the wrong direction. You're not moving toward what you say you want. You're moving. Do you ever say, I don't have enough money? Wrong again. You just need more money. You're burying the lead. You're focused on the secondary, and the tertiary, and the fourthary, and the fifthary. Oh, yeah, we go there on this show, right down to the fifthary level. Huh? Burying the lead. So whatever goal you have in your mind, whatever you want to do yourself a favor and have the nerve. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to say it. If you know what it is, send me an email. You tell me what I was going to say right there. Have to say what's important to you and to get to it first. Stop burying it down below. Your life will pass faster than you think. Years will go by. You'll be like, what happened? I know. It's like, wait a second. Been there, done that. Still got a lot of ways to go, but still, I'm noticing that. If something is important to you, give it the honor, the respect, the focus it deserves. Lose the drama, get to the point, and start getting what you want right now. It is truly up to you to make that happen. Nobody will do it for you. It's not their job. You know why? Their job is to make it happen for themselves. As soon as you get clear about it, you'll start doing it. They're going to say, wow, maybe we can do it together. I can help you. It's awesome. All right, get out there. Have a great day. Get clear. Get what you want. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Daily Boost.